a store caught fire, and the fire department arrived to put out the fire, but it was more than they could handle. So they called the local volunteer fire department to come in. And the volunteers arrived in this dilapidated old fire truck, and they headed straight towards the fire and drove right into the middle of the flames. And when the truck stopped, they jumped off the truck and with great teamwork and determination started spraying water in all directions. And they worked with an incredible sense of purpose, and they soon snuffed out the fire. Even the professional fire department was impressed by their extreme courage and grit. And watching all this, the store owner was so impressed by the volunteer fire department's hard work and commitment and passion and being grateful that they had saved a great deal of the store. Right there on the spot, he gave them a $1,000 check. And a local news reporter asked the volunteer fire captain what that department planned to do with the funds. And he said, the first thing we're going to do is get the brakes fixed on our fire truck. Well, if you're in the middle of a fire, there are times when passion alone will make the impossible possible. Last week, PB said world changers need commitment. Everything starts with commitment. If you want to change your life for the better, if you want to change anything in your life for the better, it starts with commitment. But for the next several weeks, we're going to build on that foundation of what you need to do to change your life and change the world around you for the better. So the next ingredient we're going to add to commitment as the necessary ingredient to improve your life and your world, today's ingredient is passion. Passion. Passion energizes you to fulfill your goals. To be passionate is to feel intensely, to have a strong enthusiasm for something or someone. Do you know who wants you to live with passion? God does. One day a man walked up to Jesus and said, Jesus, what's the most important commandment out of the whole Bible? Well, Jesus says, I'm going to summarize it in 2 sentences. And if you get these 2 things, you're going to be okay. It's in Mark 12:30, and he says there, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. There is no greater commandment than these. For Jesus, the 2 most important passions for a believer was to have a passion for God and a passion for people. And in the Message paraphrase, it says, love the Lord your God with all your passion, all your prayer, all your intelligence, and all your energy. So God says, love enthusiastically, love with intensity, love me, and love others passionately. Jesus is not interested in casual love. He wants to be passionately loved because he gives us everything he's got. And so he wants us to live that way with passion because he deserves everything that we've got. Amen. Colossians 3:23, God says, whatever you do, do it with all your heart as unto the Lord and not as unto men. Would you want to be loved half-heartedly? No. And neither does God. Romans 12:11 says, never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor. It is important that we serve the Lord passionately. It's part of our spiritual walk. We need to regularly monitor how passionate we are for the Lord. And the reason why we need to regularly monitor how strong we feel about God is because we don't stay on fire for God automatically. Spiritual passion has to be fanned into flames. And like anything else, when we've been in something for a long time, we can lose our passion passion for it. We no longer feel as intensely about it as we once did. And when you live without passion, you become susceptible to the blogs. Everything becomes so mundane and routine. Everything can become boring, and you can begin to think, well, what's the point? Lack of passion leads to boredom, which leads to lower expectations, which leads to doubting and questioning things around you. And after a while, you know your lack of passion can lead you to start having body aches and pains. All of a sudden, like I mentioned earlier, it's hard to get up, it's hard to get out of bed, it's hard to move around. All of a sudden, there's the this and the that and the ouch and the ooh and all these things are starting to happen. And what's really happening is you're in danger of becoming isolated and depressed. When you get to a place in your walk with God where it just seems hard to do anything, hard to join in anything, you don't want to be bothered with people, you don't want to be bothered to get out of your bed, you don't want to bother to leave your house, and it happens to all of us at some point. When these things happen, consider that what's going on is that you're lacking passion for God. Well, I want to tell you today that we are not going to allow our passion for God to die out. Amen. Because He has goals He wants us to fulfill. And I'm not telling you that any of you are spiritually dead Christians. What I'm saying is be aware that drift happens even in your relationship with God. Yes. Drift happens in your relationship on the normal, you know. The people you care about, the people you love and everything. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered with them. Sometimes you're like, if I don't see so-and-so for such and such amount of time, I'm okay. It happens with God. Some Sundays you get up and you say, I don't want it. Oh my God, I don't. So, it's okay to feel that once in a while, but if you feel it all the time, drift is happening. And so you got to pull back. So today I'm going to focus on some things that drain us of passion so that we can be aware. This is an alert message. This is not a condemnation message. Probably everyone in this room is super on fire for God. You have not gone cold and you wake up saying, yes, Jesus, and you go to bed saying, I don't want to go to bed because I can't say yes, Jesus anymore. Maybe everybody in this room is super on fire for God. Or maybe not. But today is about looking at things that can drain our passion and how to get that back when you sense some slippage is starting to happen. So, the first passion drainer, passion killer that can happen is whenever there's an unclear purpose in your life. Living without purpose is a common reason that people lack passion. We can turn the air on because I'm starting to see people. If you don't have a purpose for living, you can start to think, well, why should I even bother? Why bother coming to church? It's just going to be the same old, same old, same old. If you have no reason for using energy, why bother expending it? Well, the longer you live without finding a purpose for your life, the less passion you're going to have over the long run. Because passion and purpose go together. During a time of depression, the prophet Isaiah said, I have labored to no purpose. I have spent my strength in vain for nothing. You ever felt like that? Or if you ever get to that point where you start to feel like, what difference does it make? It's not going to matter. Whenever you start to feel those thoughts, just know that maybe you don't really feel connected to the body of Christ or the purposes of God. When people feel they have no purpose, they start to live for themselves. And you know what the problem with living for yourself is? You get bored with just you being the center of everything. Everybody's got to please you. And no matter what they do, it's never going to be enough. You're always going to feel like, next. But people who find their God-given purpose, they're able to bring up energy over and over again, to become renewed. They feel a part of God's kingdom, and they continuously experience deep pleasure in helping people and sharing the gospel. I'm not saying they don't get tired at times. I'm simply saying that they get recharged when they plug into their purpose. That's why when you guys come here and we experience the worship, you get recharged. You feel the connection of God. There's some of you can't miss the worship because that's your recharge time. Another time that you get recharged when you're fulfilling your purpose is when you touch somebody's life. Last night when we were at the Bowery and the ladies were being ministered to by Lauren, and some of them were struggling. They were struggling with each other. They were ticked off. You could feel they were a little ticked off with each other about some things. And Lauren was sensing that, and she was walking around the room and encouraging them to talk about the goodness of God. And she kept reminding them that they have a purpose right here in this moment to focus on the Lord and not on what was irritating them about each other. And the more they focused on God, the more Lauren encouraged them. Give me a sentence that tells me about the goodness of God. Give me a sentence that tells me what God means to you. The more she did that, the more their smiles broke out, the more they focused on the goodness of God, the more the tension lessened in the room, the more the joy went up in the room. Lauren was walking in her purpose.
Ooh, Jesus. Hallelujah.
And the people of God, these women were being touched by the love of God and the knowledge of God and who He was in their lives, as she was encouraging them more and more and more to keep their focus on the Lord. That's serving God. Reminding people of the goodness of the Lord when they're irritated and frustrated with each other. I'm telling you that Lauren was on fire. And that's what happens when the Mexico people go to Mexico and to Tijuana and serve the orphanages. That's a week they are on fire for God because they're serving a purpose. They're in their purpose. When the worship team gets up here, I've heard their testimony how a lot of them wear these beautiful shoes, but they stand up there and their feet are hurting. They look good, but their feet are hurting. But they start to sing. And when they start to sing, they're in their purpose. And then they bring us along with them. And then we're all worshiping God together. And then we all get recharged. There's nothing more rewarding than when you begin to do what God has made you to do.
Amen.
And then you start to see yourself grow. You start to think more like God and be more concerned about the things of God. And it's all because you're walking closer and closer to your purpose. So often we give so much of our time and energy to our jobs, and that's a good thing. We all need to eat and pay rent, no problem. But the problem that could happen is when we give too much attention to the job, and that eats up everything, and then we don't have any time left over for the things of God. Never lose your passion for God. And part of keeping your passion for God is finding your purpose. I'm giving you permission right now. Is the air on? Because I don't feel it. Is it?
It's preaching hard.
I can turn on the fan.
Well, in this moment, everybody close your eyes, just for a quick moment. Close your eyes, I give you permission, but don't drift off. Let me say this found it's an old prayer back in the 1800s. Someone prayed this prayer. And I'm going to pray this prayer over you. It's got old-timey language, these and thous in it. But listen to what her heart was saying about her relationship with God. She said to God, "Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in endless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of thy love. And take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for thee. Take my voice and let me sing always only for my King. Take my lips and let them be filled with messages from thee. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my intellect and use every power as thou shalt choose. Take my will and make it thine. It shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is thine own. It shall be thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour at thy feet its treasure store. Take myself, and I will be ever only all for thee." Amen. You can open your eyes. So finding your purpose, if you're ever struggling, one of the reasons may be that you have not found your purpose in serving God. Another thing that happens that drains our passion, could drain our passion for God, is when we are not using our talents, our gifts and skills and our abilities. If you're feeling stuck, it might be that you're not being used enough. And this will affect your passion. Because we all have potential, we all have talent, and if you're not fulfilling that potential and expressing your talent, then you're not being used the way God intended you to be used. Because there's joy and passion when you use your talents to bless others and make the world a better place. 1 Corinthians 7:17 says, "Each one of you should live his life with the gifts that the Lord has given him." So discover what you're good at and then find a place where you can use it to bless others. One of the ways that you give glory to God is by doing what he created you to do. In Romans 12:4, it says, it begins, "Just as our bodies have many parts and each part has a special function, so it is with Christ's body. We are many parts of one body and we all belong to each other. In his grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. Don't just pretend to love others, really love them. Hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. So, are you using your gifts? God has enabled all of us to serve each other by his grace. But there's some specific things that you do really well. For instance, if there's like an outreach that the church is putting on, what would you tend to want to do? Would you want to pray about it? Would you want to serve quietly behind the scenes? Would you like to worship at it? Would you like to communicate the gospel in a really creative, fabulous way to catch people's attention? Would you like to teach how the scriptures can relate to their lives? Would you like to give a testimony? Some of you are drawn to some of those ways more than you are to others. These are clues as to how God can use you and how he's made you, your spiritual gifts. You can also ask people, how does God use me? You know, if you're still, a little fuzzy about it. And there's also spiritual gift surveys that you can take. And just know that some of these things evolve over time. Sometimes you have to be exposed to an experience to see that, oh wow, I have a gift for that. That's why it's good to volunteer for a lot of stuff that goes on in the church. Because you may be surprised to find that there's some things you're really, really good at that you never would have known if you just sit here in the auditorium. You never will know what you're good at until you start serving God and joining in opportunities that the church opens up. So, finding your purpose combats a lack of passion and also using your gifts and talents. The third one is the one a lot of us are going to share, and it's a passion killer. It's an unbalanced schedule. See, I told you. And we all struggle with this. You may be overworked, and when you tend to be overworked, you tend to lose your passion. We need a balance of input and output of physical energy. Some people in here are giving out too much. There's always someone to help, someone to serve, someone to counsel. They're always caring and giving out care, but they're never taking in, and they're never taking the time to recharge. And if you're like that, you're thinking right now, I don't want to listen to any more of this message. I just want to go home and take a nap. You're in danger of passion fatigue. When you're always giving out, there will come a time when you just, I don't care. I don't care. I'm so tired. I just don't care. When we had the 4th of July holiday, I was invited by my family and friends to several functions, and I said no to everybody. No. Because I'm still trying to adjust to working Monday through Friday, every day. And it's going to be a while that I'm on probation, and I haven't been able to take time off. And I've always been able to take a day or two here or there, that I could just recuperate and recharge and restore and just, I am a person who loves their bed. And so I don't jump out of bed if I don't have to. I can stay in bed till noontime. It is not a problem. I just turn over, I do whatever I need to do, and then I come right back to bed. I love my bed. And when you invite me out, you're taking me away from my bed. You know, and now my time is really limited. God has blessed me with this job. I'm not saying anything other than I'm adjusting. It's an adjustment. Things happen in your life that are an adjustment. You know, when you get a new job, when you have a baby, when you get married, these are adjustments. And you can't do things like when you were 15 or 18 because you now have adjustments. And you have to allow for those things. Well, Saturday, I'm telling you guys now, that is my day. Don't mess with my day. Don't invite me to anything on a Saturday. Unless I've already committed to it, like the Bowery, please don't ask me to come to anything on a Saturday because you're taking me away from what?
Your bed.
My bed. And it's also the only day I can do the shopping, the laundry, the cleaning, and don't take me away from my bed. That's my recharge time. That's the time I talk to God, I do nothing, I let the TV watch me, that's my time. You all need to have times when you just sit on a park bench and watch the trees go back and forth. You need to restore. It is part of staying spiritually fit. You have to build that in. I know that we tell you that you got to have your devotional time, you got to have your fellowship time, you got to have your church time, you have to have your Bible study time, you have to serve in the ministry. Yes, these things are all good, but you also need your self-care time. Don't let the church or anybody else take away from you your self-care time. You need time to get restored, to get filled in, to be renewed in your mind, your body, and your soul. You know, take a hot bath, get a relaxation. For some of you who are more athletically inclined, you need to go work out. And you need to protect that because that's the time you physically recharge. And if you don't do those things, woe is the world. Woe is the world. Because you are not available to them anymore. Because you're tired and you're cranky and you just don't care. So if you're going to serve the Lord, you have to have some self-care time in there. And you have to protect things and you have to have some boundaries. So take time for you so that you can have more time to be available to God. Amen?
Amen.
The fourth thing that can drain your passion for God is an unconfessed sin.
Amen.
And that's because it's guilt. Guilt will rob your passion for God, especially when you push it down. In Psalm 38, the psalmist says, "My guilt has overwhelmed me like a burden too heavy to bear, and I have bowed down and brought low." You see, folks, you can't feel joy and guilt at the same time. It doesn't work that way. There's this cute little story, you may have heard it from before, but anyway. A little boy is visiting his grandparents and he's given his first slingshot. And he practices in the wood, but he never can hit a target. And as he comes back to his grandmother's backyard, he spies her pet duck. And on an impulse, he takes aim and lets it fly, and the stone hits. And the duck is killed. It's a dead duck. And the boy panics. And he tries to hide the dead duck in a wood pile. And then he looks up and he sees his sister watching him. Sally has seen it all. But she said no. And after lunch that day, Grandma said, "Sally, let's wash the dishes." But Sally said, "Oh, Johnny told me he wanted to help in the kitchen today. Didn't you, Johnny?" And she whispers to him, "Remember the duck." So Johnny does the dishes. And later, Grandpa asks if the children want to go fishing, and Grandma says, "I'm sorry, but I need Sally to help make the supper." But Sally smiled and said, "Oh, well, that's all been taken care of. Johnny wants to do it." And again, she whispers, "Remember the duck." So Johnny stays behind and helps with supper, while Sally goes fishing. And after several days of Johnny doing both his chores and Sally, finally he couldn't take it anymore. And he confessed to Grandma, "I killed the duck." And she said, "I know, Johnny." And she gives him a hug. "I was standing at the window and I saw the whole thing too. But because I love you, I forgave you. And I wondered how long you would let Sally make a slave of you." Feelings of guilt will steal your joy and your passion. But 1 John 1:9 says, if we confess our sins, God can be trusted to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So all I have to do is take it to God, tell Him the truth about what it is, and ask Him to forgive me. And ask Him to help me start living a new way again and make better choices. So don't let guilt torment you. I'm a this and I'm a that, I'm worthless, I'm terrible. Oh, how could I have thought that or think that or do that or whatever? Take it to the Lord. As soon as you know something is wrong, go to God, confess it, and get back to right living and peace and passion in serving God again. Fifth thing, an unresolved conflict. Conflicts and fights are the biggest stealers of passion. They eat away at us, they drain our energy, they keep our focus on that all the time. And some of us are in situations where there's a conflict, and then there's struggle and struggle and more struggle. So what do? How do you keep conflict from draining your passion for God and for people? Where you want to be bothered again, And you're not overwhelmed with this thing and this person that's just driving you crazy. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to deal with your feelings of resentment and jealousy and anger. Job 5:2 says, resentment destroys the fool and jealousy kills the simple. And in 18:4 it says, you're only hurting yourself with anger. Deal with the resentment, the jealousy, and anger with forgiveness. And again and again and again and again and again and again, you're going to need to forgive people. And again and again and again and again, you're going to need to ask God to forgive you and ask people to forgive you. It's the thing that clears us out, folks. If there's something that any of us have done, get it right by first asking God to forgive you and then asking the other person to forgive you. Because we all have hurt each other. Every single one of us. We've hurt and we've been hurt. So nobody is sacred, that you've never done anything wrong. We've all done something wrong, intentional or unintentional. And when you have this conflict in your spirit with someone, it's just keeping you from really expressing the joy of the Lord, your passion for God. Sometimes you feel like, how can I even talk about God because of what I just went through with so-and-so and such and such? I can't even tell people about the goodness of the Lord because I'm just so disgusted with whatever. Forgiveness is how you both get clean. Forgiveness. If you hold on to poison, it will control you. And eventually, it will affect your ability and your desire to do good to others. So if you want passion back, you got to learn to let it go. Like the song says, that we got sick of. Let it go, let it go. And if you need to talk to somebody before you talk to that person you're in conflict, reach out to a mature believer, not someone who's going to say, go ahead, beat them up. Reach out to a mature believer who's going to listen and pray and counsel you. Because Ecclesiastes 4 says, two are better than one, because if one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls down and has no one to help him up. Lastly, an undernourished spirit will kill your passion for God. Because passion is about your heart. And your passion is how you monitor how well your relationship with God is going. God gave you a spirit. You have the ability to talk to Him. You need to nourish your spirit with the presence of God frequently, daily, every chance you get. And you all know the ways that we nourish our spirit with the presence of God. We tell you all the time, it's through getting in His Word, it's through worshiping Him, it's through praying through Him, spending time with Him, it's talking about the goodness of the Lord to others, it's serving Him. These are all the ways you nourish your spirit with the presence of God. And you have to do this because circumstances and situations and certain people are going to shrink your heart when you're around them. When people are rude to you or criticize you or judge you, when you're disappointed, when you're facing a problem, when you feel pain about something or someone, those will drain you. And there's nothing left over for God when you're tired and crushed and fatigued. So you got to nourish your spirit, because if you don't, your heart will grow cold. You got to be intentional about nourishing your spirit. Colossians 2 says, just as you trusted Christ to save you, trust Him too for each day's problems. Live in vital union with Him. Let your roots grow down into Him and draw nourishment from Him. See to it that you go on growing in the Lord and become strong and vigorous. And Exodus 34:14 says, you must worship only the Lord, for He is a God who is passionate about His relationship with you. Another version says He's jealous over you. Imagine that God is jealous. So that means when you go running off to all these other idols, Your God is back there saying, who that? Who he with? Who she with? Like a jealous lover. You know? He's like, come back. Come back to your first love. Because he loves you so much. He gives you everything, and he doesn't want you to be away from him. He wants you to be in relationship with him. And he's jealous when he doesn't get your time and your attention. He's passionate about it. He's so passionate about you. In Revelation 3:15, he says, I would rather have you hot or cold. But I don't want nobody what? Lukewarm. Don't be casual about me. You either love me with everything you got or leave me alone. Isn't that a song? Love me or leave me alone? Whatever. If God is who he is, the God who saved you from all your sins, who loves you, who protects you, who provides for you, who delivers you, who heals you, who embraces you, who accepts you, who loves you with all his being. If he is all that, he deserves everything you got. And he don't want to be a side dish. He want to be the centerpiece. So, people who change their world are passionate about their God. Amen?
Amen.
I always like to end on a creative note, and so I've asked Lauren if she would bring a creative ending to this message on passion for God.
Intensity. I have loved, I have created, I have formed with intensity. Crashing waves, thunderous claps, flashes of lightning spread out across the sky, the rainbow of my covenant, reminding you of my promises. Your promises have not failed me yet. You have kept me in times of great trouble, in times of great sorrow. When heartache has run so deep, it seemed it sat in the pit of my stomach. And just as fiercely as I have felt a full range of emotions, that's how deeply I have longed for you. There is a deep-seated yearning inside of the innermost depths of my being. I have called out to you. I have cried out to you. I have been heard by you. I have been cared for by you. Your protection has kept me. Your peace has surrounded me. Your love has kept me going. Your love has, for me, caused me to love you with an intensity I cannot describe. It's like if I close my eyes, I can still see you. It's like when I feel abandoned by the world, you're still in control. It's like every fiber of my being has to speak of your glory. You are for me. And because of this, because I know there is nothing and no one to ever come close to you, my passion is for you. Every breath that I breathe, every word that I speak, every decision I make, made precisely with the intensity that you have kindled in me. Amen.
Amen. Father.